So the big question is then, how do we cope with shift work? So some very big things that we can do, first of all, just the simple act of staying awake during a night shift can be difficult. Caffeine is a huge help. Believe it or not, people have actually studied caffeine and its effects on alertness. So 2 to 4 cups of coffee per shift is helpful for most people. The issue you need to be careful with is not only are there side effects of caffeine, which not all of us tolerate caffeine well, there's also tolerance. And we also have to be mindful that we want to sleep after our shift, so we shouldn't be consuming caffeine within 6 hours of when we want to go to bed. So caffeine is great, ideally earlier in the course of our shift. Other ways to stay awake during a night shift, exposure to natural sunlight. A lot of practices, unfortunately, don't have windows and outdoor areas where we can go, so having a blue LED light to emit daylight, essentially UV light, artificial light. Sitting at the computer when we're completing our records, being exposed to that light is going to help regulate our circadian rhythms and allow our body to think that even though it's nighttime, it's our daytime, and then at the end of our shift, it's our nighttime and we can go to sleep. Naps are a big thing that we talk about for coping with shift work. So having the opportunity to, usually at the 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. time period, take a break to 5 minutes, 20 minutes, longer if you can, but to have just a few moments of sleep to recharge, restore, and rejuvenate for the rest of the shift can be tremendously effective. Otherwise, when we're working shifts, what's really important is that we want to maintain healthy habits. So hydrating well during the shift, exercising ideally before the shift, even if it's just for 20 minutes or half an hour, and then sleep hygiene is so important with shift work. So what I mean by that is during the shift, you're setting yourself up for a good night's sleep. So I already mentioned, not drinking caffeine within 6 hours of the end of your shift. After your shift, probably avoiding alcohol as well. Alcohol prevents us from getting into the REM part of our sleep. So either avoiding it or keeping it as early after the shift as possible so that we have time for it to clear our system before we go to bed. Taking moments to relax during the day so that we set ourselves up for sleep. And then one of the really important points is avoiding electronics within an hour of going to sleep. So ideally, the TV is off, the phone is away, we're not, reading from e-readers, and there's 2 reasons for this. One is that blue light that's being emitted from electronics is going to inhibit your melatonin secretion and prevent your natural tendency of going into sleep. The other thing is it's very activating. People don't realize, even there's studies that show that just looking at your phone, not even the screen, but just seeing it on the table, stimulates dopamine release, and that's activating. So not looking at your phone, keeping it out of the bedroom, buy an alarm clock if you don't have an alarm clock so that you don't have to wake up to your phone, and really avoiding that electronic stimulation before bed. And then when you go to bed, aiming for 7 to 9 hours of sleep, comfortable mattress, only using the bed for sleeper intimacy so that we're not, working and talking and worrying in bed. Your bedroom really should be your sleep sanctuary, and it should be, comfortable temperature, quiet, soundproof, light-proof, all the things that really, set yourself up for a good amount of sleep. I can't stress it enough. I think sleep hygiene is important for everybody, but it's very important if you're doing shift work.